Hello, everybody. I am Teresa Micheletti, Detours Marketing and Social Media Manager, and we are here on behalf of the Cyrcle Phone because that's what we make, Cyrcle Phone. And welcome to our AMA regarding, well, what we're talking about today is my first experience with 3D drafting in the program Fusion 360, which is connected to our enclosure contest. What we are doing, we can talk more about the contest probably at the end, unless anybody wants to throw questions in the comments. But the contest is to design a enclosure for the Cyrcle Phone. So right now we have a prototype case, and we're looking for others' inspiration to see what they can come up with and add, your creativity and spice, because we care about individualism and being able to customize your experience and your phone. So that's where that is. And so for those who are making entries, one of the 3D drafting programs that they can use is Fusion 360. And that is the program that currently the enclosure that we have. You can upload or download that, as well as the internal stuff you have to work around in the phone, so your case can make everything fit. So I figured I would try my hand at this Fusion 360 and then share my experience with you. So here we are. I do want to introduce, however, of course, our fearless leader, CEO, Christina C. So she is right here. Hello,
hey everybody.
welcome.
Great to be here. I'm glad that you're all here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, pardon. All right, so might as well dive right on in. So I'm going to show you kind of what I did, and I tried to keep it nice and simple, both for myself and so it was clear to talk through with everybody here. So here we are in Fusion 360, and this nice and simple is what I worked through. It took me 4 minutes. I watched a YouTube video of like, okay, what's the basic, how we do this? Yeah, but clicking through, it's really not that hard. You kind of a feel for kind of the order of operations, because once you have the order of operations, much of it is rinse repeat in slightly different ways. So we will walk through making one of these right now. However, because we are the Cyrcle Phone, we are going to make a circle. So, I mean, it only makes sense. So here we are. When you first open Fusion 360, you'll have a blank canvas, essentially like this. So you want to start with essentially the shape, like the outside border shape that you want your thing to be. Just real plain and simple. So first, for so much 3D drafting, you do it in like in layers, and generally you start in 2D and then pull it up into 3D. So I'll show you what that means. So here we are up in solid, and it says create a sketch. And what I really like about Fusion 360 is every time you hover over the buttons, and I know lots of programs do this, but it gives you a lot of information about what it's going to do. Instead of it doesn't just say create a sketch, it gives you all this extra stuff. So that was fun and helpful. So we've said create a sketch, and what it's doing here is asking which plane of space we want to be working from. So I picked functionally the ground. So we're looking from the top straight down. So here we are, and we want to make a circular keychain. So right up here, center diameter circle. So that's one option. But as you'll see here in this sketch palette, there's all of these different ways that you can make a circle. So if you want something to fit within, a trapezoid that you have, right here, it'll link the three points of the circle to make it fit within the space you already have, which we're not doing today, but it's great that you have customability from the get-go of what you're drawing to really help you hopefully streamline through getting it to be correct. And you don't have to scooch around something that, you could just have it snap to the edges for. So I am going to do a 2-point circle. And so you pick one spot, boom, and then you pull it out. You can also enter measurements. So let's do 25 millimeters. No, that's too small. Let's do 40. But be careful to backspace before you continue on. Otherwise, it's up in the 2000s. So from here, you just hit enter. And there we are. But before you can move on to your next step, sneaky button, which is actually not sneaky at all. Boom, right up here. Oops, which our logo's a little over, but finish sketch. It's got a big green circle with a check mark. So hit that. All right, now there it is, flat surface. But we want it to be 3D. So up here on solid, right next to create sketch, there's this button for extrude. So it adds depth to a closed sketch, all of these great things. So boop, and you click. If there were multiple circles or multiple pieces, you'd have to click on which one you want to be like the command to act on, but we only have a circle, so here we are. So I'm going to do 2 millimeters tall, just a cute little thing. Don't want it to be hard for it to fit in pockets or around keys. So there we are. But we need a hole. We need a hole to go through, the key ring. So from that, we want to, again, start in 2D and pick the same plane that we picked for the circle. Boop. Here we are. So now we want to make, I'm going to choose a circle for the hole, but really, you could make any kinds of shape. You could make a rectangle, freeform, all kinds of options. So I personally like, just from my brain, the 2-point circle opposed to the center, just because then I can be mindful of where, like how close to the edge I get, because sometimes my spatial reasoning of like pick the center and then, oh, I'm too close to the edge or not close enough, and I have the whole size I want. So here we are. Yeah, that looks nice. Boop. All right, we have another circle, and I'm going to finish the sketch. You can also, on this sketch palette, there's also the finish sketch button down there. All right, woohoo, here we are. Heads up, the display of Fusion 360 over StreamYard, which we are using, gets a little funky if you pull out this browser. So don't worry, nothing's wrong. I'm just going to show you quick. So over here, if you hit sketches, so you can see we have sketch 1, which is the original circle, and then sketch 2, which is the smaller circle, which will become the whole. So as you move through, these are all of the things you can go and visually turn off and kind of work around them. So there's all of those additional ways to manipulate what you're seeing so you can get to the small part you want to be adjusting in that moment. Trying to give you kind of all the things as well as just the basic step through. So we want to make a hole. So let's see here. We want to extrude, and we pick the little circle. Hold up. Give me one moment. I might have remembered slightly incorrectly. Sorry, one moment. Yep.
Do you just need to find that little circle, or?
Yeah, so what's not showing up is it's the side, like little sketch palette, extrude palette that has all of those options. But yes, that's what we want. Why is that not displaying?
You could just type in negative dimensions to go
hey,
backwards.
All right.
So if you do like a -2 or something.
Okay. There you go, Christina, coming in the clutch. So I just learned something new. What should happen, or at least does, it may be that my, because right now I have my window for Fusion 360 smaller on my computer screen, so I can also see our live image. So that might be it. But I will click through pictures later of making the square one. So you'll see what that also looks like. Okay, so here we are. We've got the keychain with a hole, so you can put it on keys. Now, something I've not yet gone through is how do you look at a different perspective of this? So up here in this top right area, this is very helpful for me, and I think it will be for you too. You can be like, please take me to a view from top down. And then from any of the other sides and whatnot. But that's a little restrictive. So down here in this toolbar area, you have free orbit or constrained orbit. So if you pick free, I would suggest move your mouse slowly because it's pretty easy to get turned around of where are we in the world. So here we are. And then if you're like, oh my gosh, I've got no clue. Remember, look up to this top right corner and it'll remind you, okay, great, I'm looking at the bottom. So if you've just spun yourself dizzy, that's how you can recenter and get back to whatever perspective you would like to be having. So.
And if you hover over the right corner, it should pop up a little glyph of a house. And if you click on that house, it'll take you to the home. Yep, it'll take you to the home view.
Fun. All right, more things to share and to learn. I love it. So that's the very basic, very simple. For other tools, other things we could learn how to use for the once you are in orbit, if that's what your mouse is doing when you click and drag, to get out of that, you just hit escape. If you are using a mouse, which I highly suggest, you can use the center, like the wheel button, to zoom and also use that to pan, which just speeds things up. Also, so many of these have keyboard shortcuts. So as you continue moving through, so I think F was this fillet, which I'll go through in just a moment. But as you get more used to it, I would advise take a bit of time, maybe just print up those shortcuts because they will make a big difference. And for me personally, if I was going further in this project, I would definitely think it's worth my time, and I would advise your time as well, to put in the extra time at the front to just make yourself more productive forevermore. So that's my 2 cents.
That's a really good point. I didn't do that, and yeah, it does slow me down now that I've gotten better at Fusion 360.
Yeah, let's see. So for fillet, which I think is fun, we'll just go make a new one real quick. So if we're playing along, it'd be one of those fun, like, what do you do? Make a sketch. 2, pick your plane. 3, pick your shape. 4, draw it. Which all of this sounds very silly, but for my brain, like a really clear 1, 2, 3, 4 is helpful. So you also over here in all of these options, there's this snap. So that means you snap as you're dragging your cursor along to create the shape. It will take you and like automatically connect and snap to these light gray guidelines. But if you don't want that, because they, are set increments, if you want to be totally free to make it exactly however big you want, unclick the snap so it's not checked, and then you'll be free to just anywhere you like. In addition, you can always type in the exact measurements you want, like we did originally. So, all right, finish. Cool, but let's make so let's make this one 5, just for fun. All right, which I'm excited to show you. I think it's pretty fun. So here, and what we are to do is what it does is it rounds. So I'm going to use it to round the corners of this rectangle. So you want to go through and select each edge that you want it to act upon. So I'm going to use it as far as like the keychain concept goes for each corner if you're looking down. Hopefully that makes sense. And you can click into orbit because we want it to act on, we want all 4 corners this time around to be the same amount of curved. And so then just because you're looking at one side, you could do those 2 sides and then 2 sides, but that is not that efficient. So for fillet, you have this fun arrow, and this perhaps you've seen, it appears in most of the tools, such as extrude. You can just click and drag instead of entering measurements. So here's a little bit, and then here's, if we're just like, make it round, we're very curved. You can do all kinds of levels. I think it's interesting that it pops back to a rectangle and tells you like, no, that's not possible, which makes perfect sense. But it also, I like that it tells you like what is wrong. So that, because sometimes you bump a button and you're like, what happened? So speaking of, all right, we made it, but I decide, you know what? I don't like that. It's super easy. Just like most programs, we've got an undo button. Boom. All right. Very simple, but all of these things, like I know some programs that don't actually have an undo, so it's always nice. And of course you can go through specifically choose what all you want to undo, but I like the fillet, so here we are. Another neat feature that Christina told me about, so let's give it a test. Down here, let's see. Well, give me one moment. I'm going to get rid of this banner we have so you can see more easily. All right. Here we are. Let's see here. So, down in this bottom left corner, there are like movie buttons. So this lets you step through. So this one's for previous step. And well, this one I only did a couple things on. Time out. We'll go through this one. It lets you go back and see what each step you did was. And then you can also hit play and just watch it all. Theories, you can watch it all come to life. Take 2. There we go. So I just learned, thanks for learning with us, that to get it to play up to your finished place. If you've skipped around using the smaller, like last step, next step, it will only play to whatever step you're currently looking at. So if you want to see the whole movie, whole show, you get the final product before you hit the play button. So I just think that's super fun. And I mean, spending more time and having a more complicated object and then watching the whole thing come together, like, this one's fine, but it's not that many steps. But watching a more complicated one just build up, I think would be so cool. So, if you give a try to this 3D modeling, please, it's fun. And there's plenty of YouTube videos to just get your feet under you. And then from there, you can run. But, I did not have a very hard time picking it up with just some basic how-tos. And yes, I did in college take a drafting class, but that was years ago. And it was on a completely different program. So, confession, some of the terms were not totally new to me. So if it takes you a little bit longer to like have all that click in, don't feel like you're not getting it because you're starting just as a true beginner. And that is great. I think it's wonderful to try new things, all about it. Yes, but please try this 3D drafting. Head to our contest page. The information is in the description for this video. And, see what you can make. And if you want to do that little, run the movie of your thing coming together and record it and post it, tag us, we would love to see your process and what you're up to. Little back and forth is always fun. So if anybody has questions, let's see. Oh, I was going to show you the pictures. I think we really stepped through everything that I had taken screenshots of because I just decided we'd do it all together. So I think that's that as far as what I specifically did. We could also go through and, play around more, but I think that gives you a good idea. And always, shoot a message of, I'm not going to be a pro. Don't ask me exactly how to do all this, but, there's a lot of resources online and there's so many maker spaces and people that you can, reach out to, which Christina knows more about. Let's see. Yeah, Christina.
Hi. So, yeah, thank you so much for walking us through that. It was really refreshing to see those first steps from the perspective of someone who is just fresh, learning it fresh. So I really appreciate you walking through that. And then did you want to show us the screenshots that you had prepared or and
sure.
If so, can I, while you're getting that up and running, can I show everybody the contest page?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, so I want to show this window.
Let's see. Fine. There we are. All right, you ready? Here you go.
Ready. Okay, so this is a glimpse of our contest page. We are running a contest to design your own version of the enclosure of the Cyrcle Phone. And just to give you kind of a brief tour, so this is the current kind of shape of the Cyrcle Phone right now with the camera at the top and a flat edge at the bottom. And it's quite comfortable in the hand, and you can see people holding the Cyrcle Phone here in the the hand. It also has 2 headphone jacks. So right here in this image, they're demonstrating the fact that it has 2 headphone jacks. But so the design brief walks you through kind of the purpose of the contest and about the Cyrcle Phone, kind of our history, a little bit of our history, just a paragraph or 2 on that. And then it allows you to submit your design. So I would also like to show the design. And then if you win the prizes that we're offering 3 different Creality Ender 3 Pro 3D printers. So these are great to play with, especially while we're all in quarantine right now and having to be kind of housebound. This is a perfect project to work on during that time. So here we have the 3 that we're offering. And we even give you the size of the screws that we're using currently for the enclosure, so you could utilize those as well. For the enclosure, we give you kind of a blob, which is you can download in any format, including STEP or STL. Using this link, basically it's a blob of the interior components that you can build around. And then this is our current enclosure format for the front, and then our current enclosure for the back. So you can, if you have, like spatial questions in your mind, you can review those to see what we've done so far. So, and here are some tips. For example, there are 2 floating speakers, which you can actually move around the design and place at your whim. And so that is the design, the contest webpage, but I do want to flip to the entries that we've received so far. So I'm going to see if I can do that. I'm going to go ahead and share out that different application window. Just a minute, please. Here we go. Okay. Yes. So as you can see, we have had several submissions already, and I'm really excited about Joseph Brannick's designs. So he designed these 2 different creations. Oh my gosh, he just added one.
Oh,
sorry. Go, Joseph.
Oh, how
awesome.
exciting.
So let me see if I can page back. Wow, I'm so glad we checked this today. Okay, so here was his first submission and his second submission. He kind of submitted both of these on the same day. And then, wow, this is really cool. I'm really liking what he's coming up with. It's really innovative and fits well in the hand, which is one thing that we really focus on at our company, phones that fit well in the hand. Wow. Bravo, Joseph. So this one is by Renee Taylor, and she actually has removable or rather replaceable discs on the back. This one has 3 ball bearings, kind of like a fidget plate that you can switch out the back so that you can have different designs on the back of your phone. So I thought that was very innovative that she worked on that. Oh, I think this is a new back that I haven't seen yet. So I think she's added to her design that one in gold. Really exciting. So, and let's see, we also had another, oh, look at this with the gears. So cool. This one's by Alex Berardi. I think I didn't say the second R very well. Berardi. Yeah. So check out these gears. I love the gears on the back. Just like an old-fashioned pocket watch where you could see through the back and watch the gears moving. It's so fascinating. Really cool.
Yeah, it's been really fun, periodically to just for me at least, and I imagine same for Christina, just to click into here and be like, oh my gosh, there's more. Like, it's been really exciting to kind of see everyone's inspiration coming in.
And I didn't realize This one's by Vignesh Kumar. I kind of like these 2 feet that are coming out like that. And it still fits really well in the hand. So we did put that kind of guideline. It's not a rule per se. So you can actually, make any enclosure size you want. But we did say we found that you want to keep the width of the device less than 102 millimeters across. So, and these designers are really kind of following to that, adhering to that guideline, which is really exciting to see. So I'm seeing some etching here on the back, and so I'd kind of like to, I wish he had like a little bit more clear shot of that so we can see what's going on there. Very innovative. So yeah, so we've been really excited to see kind of the different designs that have come out. So this one is exciting. I think this is the one, yep, with the strap on the back. So I like the different designs on the back of this one. This is by Bertot. And I actually have not looked very closely at this one because it was wider than check that out. Wider than we had created. It kind of doesn't fit around the interior blob that we provided. So, but I still like how they were innovative about the shape, and that it looks like they still made it 102 millimeters across, which is our target. So very cool, very cool. Unfortunately, I don't know that we're going to be able to get that camera up there in that corner like that, but very cool. So yeah, so very intriguing to see all of the Vignesh Kumar. Oh, this is his second submission. This is cool. So anyways, thank you for perusing all of those interesting designs. The first one here is just our current enclosure. I went ahead and uploaded that in this section as well as on the design page, just to test to make sure that people could actually upload designs. And so you're welcome to take a look at those too. So lots of really cool designs. I like this one that has the transparent case around it. It's so cool. So, okay, so that's all we're showing today. Thank you for letting me share that. Our contest is running through July 31st, and we're looking for more submissions. We're really eager to get more people involved. So even if you are just a beginner 3D modeler, please submit a design so that we can see your work and showcase your work. So, and showcase kind of your progression as you move along. So we really enjoy highlighting and getting exposure for young designers. So, or older designers too. So please don't hesitate to enter the contest. Looking forward to it. So that's all I have. I'm going to switch it back over to you, Teresa, and we're looking forward to seeing your screenshots. Thanks.
Yeah. So the screenshots take us through basically, I mean, just what we walked through, but a couple pieces I want to kind of highlight that did not show up well sorry, one moment, did not show up well while I was moving through. So from the very beginning, like we did together, this was drawing the original square. And again, can enter your own dimensions. And then I extruded it. And this is showing, clicking on each corner side to use the fillet tool. And this is just a close-up of that sketch palette for drawing the circle that we made the whole keychain of in our example together, and also just the hole to punch through so that you can actually attach it to something. So then right here is that moment where I was like, oh dear, what I expected to see is not happening. And let me just zoom in on it so we can all see a little bit better. here we go. So I'm sure somewhere, and I just didn't spend the time midstream, I'm sure that this palette is just, I minimized it somehow on accident in our example. So, because right here, there's a minimize button. So I'm just not sure where the button to unminimize it is. So, but I'm sure it's very easy to find. But part of what was cool is you can pick what direction you're going, and extent to object is what I did originally. Christina saved the day with you can enter negative measurements, since we had placed excuse me, sorry, the circle to make the hole on top of the actual keychain. So with that, if you're into the object, you can then flip it upside down and click excuse me, on the bottom, and then say, from there, I want you to go to this location of the object. Oh, and I thought that was really fun. And it also got, had more opportunity to use the orbit tool, and just, the additional applications of being able to specifically be like right here is great. So, and then there's all kinds of, you can offset it, you can have a taper angle, so many things, additional features that we didn't go through today that I have not yet learned about, but I know that they do many cool things. So keep it pretty simple there. And that's that. Like I said, there's wonderful YouTube, how-tos out there. So it's not, don't be intimidated. I guess that's really what I want to say, is don't be intimidated. It is simple, and there are resources, and it's fun, so long as you just accept that you are in a learning space. My 2 cents. So don't be intimidated. Give it a try. Like Christina said, all entries are welcome, and you can see where we're starting and move forward from there. And, even if it's, you have an idea of the shape exterior, but like, okay, maybe designing the interior is a little challenging, still submit what you have, to get the exposure, and that's still neat. And we are very excited to see all creativity. So there's that. And I also realized in the beginning, I forgot to say, I'm wearing a mask because I live with my parents, and they are being older, of a higher risk group for COVID-19. And I've been out and about in the world a little bit more. And so we're playing it extra safe with me wearing a mask anytime I'm in like a common space. So figured I should have said that at the beginning, but for those who were curious and held on through the end, there's your answer.
Definitely. And for those of you who don't know, Teresa makes all of her masks. So
yes,
totally fantastic.
Yes. They're all homemade. They have a metal strip across the nose, so you can really get it fit well. Because if you're
professional grade, yeah,
if it fit well, you won't get fogging, and it also means it's working the best. So
awesome. Thank you so much for presenting that today, Teresa. I really appreciate it. Do you have anything to close us out with?
No, okay, other than we look forward to your creativity, and thanks for watching.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody for watching today. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your comments. Even if you didn't get a chance to put in a comment live, we love your messages and follow up on your messages afterwards. So if you're watching this video like months later, please just, put in your comments, and we'd love to see them. Thanks.
Absolutely. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe, and we'll be in touch.
Bye.